Hello friends, it is me, JJ, and something I have always wanted to do is make a cultural object. Which is to say, something that is very infused with a lot of references and in-jokes that draw upon a lot of specific knowledge about one particular place. As anyone who watches my YouTube channel will know, I have always been very captivated by creations that are very rich in cultural content, be it a TV show, song, video game, or even the humble souvenir. And so I decided it was time I made my own. Since I am Canadian, I figured that my thing should focus on Canadian culture, since that's what I know best. And since I am a writer, I figured it should probably be a book. And since I'm also a cartoonist, I figured it should probably also feature a lot of my drawings. And since I really like the aesthetic of video games from the early 1990s, I figured I should probably try to rope in that whole angle as well. And what I finally came up with was Canadamon, a satirical cartoon book of 151 Canadian culture monsters. It is obviously heavily based on the whole collectible fighting monsters craze of the 1990s, the fad that gave us Pokemon and Digimon and Yu-Gi-Oh! And Monster Rancher and all the rest. But I was also heavily inspired by some of the more satirical collection-based franchises of the same era, like the Garbage Pail Kids and the Meanie Beanies and stuff like that. Okay, so if you have been watching my videos for any period of time, you have probably noticed this thing here in the background. This big poster thing with all the different colored sticky notes on it. This is actually the board that I've been using for much of the last year to brainstorm different Canadamon ideas. And you can see that I have mostly filled it up at this point. And just to give you an idea of what the Canadamons are like, let's go through a couple. So this one here is Nanaimo Bear. I'm thinking of him as like the flagship character of this franchise. My Pikachu, if you will, or my yellow one-eyed thing from Monster Rancher. Nanaimo Bear is based on the cliched Canadian snack treat known as the Nanaimo Bar, which is a very stereotypically iconic thing that tends to always come up when you're having a conversation about distinct Canadian foods. And Nanaimo Bear evolves into Full Nanaimo, which is a reference to a very old-fashioned bit of Canadian slang from here in British Columbia, where you refer to men wearing very tacky 70s or 80s style clothes as wearing the Full Nanaimo. Nanaimo is this place in Vancouver Island, by the way. All right, so here is another one. Sasquatch. He is what you get when you combine the perfectly rectangular province of Saskatchewan with the Sasquatch, the mythical ape man of the Canadian wilderness. And you can see that even though his body is mostly flat, he has a forest at the top, just like the real Saskatchewan. Or how about this guy, Lord Stan? He is based on the Stanley Cup, the big NHL trophy, which is itself named after Lord Stanley of Preston, Canada's 6th Governor General. So you can see that he's sort of a trophy / Governor General hybrid abomination. Or how about this guy, Tycat, who is a reference to the Hamilton Tiger Cats Canadian football team, but also a reference to this weird obscure flavor of Canadian ice cream called Tiger Tail. It's kind of a mix of orange and licorice. And then Tycat evolves into Tiger Tail, T-A-L-E, which is a reference to the famous Canadian novel Life of Pi. And then Tiger Tail evolves into Tiger, which is what they call Tiger Tail ice cream in the Canadian prairies, I am told. And since I don't want to spoil everything now, let's just do a couple more in rapid fire. Ontarable, Burnstone, Logan, Newfoundland Labrador, Bloody Czar, Ogoporogi, Gatineau, and Trudeau. So anyway, the book is going to be about this size, 6 inches by 9 inches, about 200 pages, soft cover. And each page will have a big picture of one of the Mons, as drawn by me, with some stats and lore. You can get a rough sense of how it will look based on this little mock-up I've created. Although obviously in the final version, it will be bound like a normal book, not with this plastic loop thing. But JJ, I hear you say, some of these references are way too obscure for me. You can't expect me to appreciate all of your weird in-jokes about ice cream flavors and governor generals. Well, that is why the book will also contain this special little index in the back. It is here where I will calmly explain exactly what it is that each individual Canadamon is supposed to be satirizing. And just to keep the whole video game aesthetic going, I have commissioned a very talented pixel artist named Pat Ackerman to design sprite art of all 151 of my Canadamons based on my drawings. He has done some very exceptional work so far, and I am very excited to see what he comes up with for the rest. Overall, I'm going for a sort of retro player's guide vibe with all this. So there will be some additional pages of sort of fun, expanded universe lore, talking more about the world of the Canadamons and how they work. Now, book printing is expensive, particularly if you are a great patriot like me and want to get the books printed in Canada. So I'm hoping that you guys will be able to help me out by donating to the official Canadamon Kickstarter. For those who don't know, Kickstarter is this awesome online service where you can make donations to fund a project that is currently in progress. And the good news is that if you donate above a certain amount, you are guaranteed a copy of the finished product when it gets done. In this case, anyone who donates at least $30 Canadian, or about $22 US, is guaranteed a copy of the book once it gets completed. So no need to buy it later because you are literally buying it now. And yes, we will ship it all over the world. There will also be special bonus prizes for people who really go above and beyond in the donation game. So if you pay more, you can get stuff like an autographed copy or even a custom Canadamon trainer portrait of you drawn by me, which will appear in the special thanks section of the book. Now, making a book is something that I've been wanting to do for a very, very long period of time, but I held off on doing it until I felt like I had a really winning idea, and I feel like I do now. I have come up with something that allows me to combine all of my talents and interests into a single rich goo, and I'm eager to share that goo with you. I think this book will be a fun and funny thing to own for anybody who likes Canada, or wants to learn more about Canada, or just wants to have a hopefully clever work of cultural satire. And of course, a fun souvenir of my YouTube channel and the whole JJ McCullough experience. But I cannot do it without your help. So please consider following the link below and making a Kickstarter donation today. Anyway, thank you so much for enduring this little infomercial of mine. I will be raising funds for this thing over the next 30 days, so hopefully that is enough time to reach the goal. I will be sure to let you all know how it's going, and we will be back with a normal video next week.